So again, this is a swamp white oak, and the reason that it was chosen for this particular site is a swamp white oak, as the name would imply, does really well in nice moist conditions, and it is pretty moist right here, as you can see.
We are at Medora Elementary, and what we're doing is making a tree.
If we didn't have any trees here, then we wouldn't have any oxygen to breathe, because trees have leaves, and the leaves hold in water for us.
It makes your school and environment pretty, and without trees, your environment doesn't look that cute.
At Medora Elementary, Trees Louisville has actually partnered with JCPS to plant about 80 different trees. So we have trees that range from as large as a 4-inch swamp white oak to trees that are columnar juniper trees that will provide a little bit of design element to the campus. Being a horticulturist and being a scientist at heart, it's really gratifying for me to be able to provide an environment for these kids that totally dramatically changes the way we educate our children. They'll have access to all these little scientific experiences.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Michael Razor, the Chief Operations Officer for Jefferson County Public Schools, and I'd like to welcome you to Medora Elementary School. It is tremendous when we have exciting, good news to share with the community, and this is one of the most exciting operational things we are doing within JCPS. JCPS has undertook an urban reforestation project in partnership with our work with the Green City Partnership, Trees Louisville, and Louisville Metro government. This exciting opportunity will allow us to beautify our campuses, while being environmental stewards and helping to fight the urban heat island, as well as the deforestation that has occurred in many urban areas by planting trees and creating no-mow zones on many of our campuses. It is my tremendous, tremendous privilege to now introduce Ms. Cindy Sullivan, the Executive Director of Trees Louisville, to tell you a little bit more about our project.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Razor. Everybody got me okay? It has been truly a pleasure working with you and with your staff to kind of jumpstart this initiative. And I so look forward to working with you in the future on this paradigm shift that we have sort of sparked. But first, let me ask everybody a question. Have you planted a tree today? Not yet. And that's good, because we got trees and we have shovels. The chairman of our board, Henry Heiser, couldn't be here today, but he would be asking that, and he would be so proud of everyone today for planting that tree. And he did want me to pass along a special message to you, Mr. Mayor, that he's very proud of your behavior today, even though you were a little tardy. I do want to acknowledge my board of directors members, including those that served on the Louisville Metro Tree Advisory Commission with Henry Heiser, Katie Snyder, and Alan Steinbach. These are truly community volunteers that understand the importance of a robust tree canopy to our community. And what better way to start improving our overall canopy than to start with our school system? Because education is the key here. Everyone realizes that what we don't understand, we don't appreciate, and we don't protect. And we've got to protect our tree canopy and grow it. I've been so fortunate in the last few months to be able to meet and to work with so many school partners like Dr. Pickup, and resource teachers, science teachers like Justa Marishi, who in the world would ask for a female ginkgo tree for his campus. PE teachers like Mr. Evans that realize the importance of getting those kids out there on those walking paths and the value of having shade and beautiful trees for them to look at as they're walking around getting their exercise or running. This has been a wonderful working with all these people at these schools and with community volunteers. Jim Koch is in the back, and he is a great community volunteer. The first time that we came to Medora, he was out picking up trash and said, could you talk to Brightside, those guys at Brightside, and get me some more trash bags? And I went right over to Gina's office and said, could I get some trash bags for Mr. Koch? And of course, we brought them over, so that was great. It's community volunteers and this the the community resources that these campuses are going to become that really make a difference in our community overall. The best part of my job, though, I have to tell you, is watching the kids as we are on these campuses planting these trees. The excitement that they see when those skid loaders start running, when the backhoes are working, the awe in their faces when they're looking at the depths of those tree planting holes, and the excitement that they show when they see the height of the trees that we're putting in, because we're putting in some big ones. You'll see that today. So let's get down to the business of the morning, this tree planting, because I want to talk a little bit about the numbers. When you go back outside, you'll notice that there are some large trees in the front of the school, and they're important for our community. Part of the reason that we're here is because John DeMarsh, who's on the ground staff, gave us a call and said, you know, we're losing a lot of limbs and a lot of big old trees on the Medora campus, so you might want to go out and take a look at it. And those big old trees are really, really important. One of my favorites is right there at the corner by the backstop at the bus parking lot. It's a 44-inch oak. Okay, so you got that? It's like almost 4 feet in diameter. And that one tree provides almost $200 every single year in ecosystem services. That tree intercepts air pollutants. It manages stormwater, which is extremely important. It mitigates the heat island effect. And, most special, it provides a little perch for a pair of red-tailed hawks that call the Medora campus home. The 4-inch swamp white oak that we're going to plant today will immediately start providing those benefits today. $50 a year already, just with 4 inches. And every year that swamp white grows, it will increase in value. So it's an asset, a neighborhood asset. Trees are truly a capital investment in our community and in our future. So we need to protect the trees that we have, and we need to plant new trees for the health and the well-being of this community. And clearly, the leadership of Jefferson County Public Schools understands that value, and so it gives me great pleasure to introduce our partner in trees, Superintendent Dr. Donna Hargens.
I love that, partner in trees. Thank you very much. Thank you, Cindy. And this morning we are honored to have with us 2 board members. Board member Chris Brady, who's a great supporter of this initiative, and board member Linda Duncan. This school falls in Ms. Duncan's district. So Cindy, your expertise is well known throughout the community, and your compassion for this is very well respected. So we're here at Medora Elementary School, home of one of the largest canned food drives in the district. Last year, this school, with 460 students, gathered more than 11,000 cans of food for area missions and homeless shelters. And Medora has an extremely committed principal in Betsy Pickup, and Betsy's here with us today. So thank you, Betsy. In addition, we have 2 superstar teachers. We have Medora science teacher Justin Mareshi and PE teacher Phil Evans. They've been involved in the Louisville Campus Tree Canopy Enhancement Program. Mr. Evans understands that the Medora track is an important community asset and that the proper placement of the newly planted trees is very important to this community. Mr. Mareshi even made some special requests, as Cindy said, of Tree Louisville to plant some specific rare trees so he can incorporate them into his future lesson planning. So we're grateful to Tree Louisville and to you, Cindy, for coordinating and aligning your efforts with these great teachers as you provide leadership in donating these trees to JCPS schools. Our job will now be to maintain them and enjoy them. JCPS Chief Operations Officer Mike Razor will share with us the maintenance program in a few minutes. So that leaves to me the topic of how we're going to enjoy them. You know that JCPS benefits from generous donations and contributions of hundreds of individuals. We're extremely grateful for every partnership, every hour of time, and every dollar that is donated. And we know that in the long term, our community as a whole benefits when JCPS students perform at higher levels, thanks to those partnerships. But this donation offers extra benefits because by enhancing our city's tree canopy in the entire Louisville community will benefit right now and in the long term. The Tree Louisville program provides immediate benefits to the schools, students, and neighborhoods, but it also improves Louisville's long-term livability. So let's talk about these shorter-term benefits for these students here. In addition to beautifying our schools, the trees donated and planted by Tree Louisville will be the focus of education as lessons center around the roots, trunks, leaves, and branches. Every elementary JCPS student is learning that trees improve the quality of air and water, reduce the effects of urban heat islands, and help prevent erosion. Our early childhood students know to look at the trees to determine whether it's winter, spring, summer, or fall. Our budding artists find trees a peaceful subject for their creations. And our young scientists, and we have many of them, are uncovering the contributions of trees to everything from food to physical health. Beyond their contribution to lesson planning, we as a society know that trees improve mental health and mindfulness. The experts tell us that access to nature yields better cognitive functioning, more self-discipline, and greater mental health overall. Groupings of trees have a calming effect, helping improve the focus of those who spend time under their shelter. So thank you again, Tree Louisville and Cindy Sullivan, and to the team of partners you've assembled to select, procure, plant, stake, mulch, and water these trees. Your work helps young children and gives them the chance to understand and connect with nature and experience how trees make their school grounds and local community both cleaner and greener. And now I'd like to introduce Mayor Greg Fisher and thank him again for joining us at this JCPS event. Mayor Fisher, we're grateful for your continued support of JCPS and for the park system and tree canopy in Louisville. This man loves trees, but he loves education. So Mayor Fisher.
Well, thanks everybody, and it's great to be here with our young leaders today. Thank you guys so much. And Medora's got some just really outstanding activity going on. You've got this group of creative and energetic teachers. Dr. Pickup, thanks for you. This ginkgo story that you guys have done is really unusual, which I think really leads to learning. So thank you for that. And your all's work in compassion is unparalleled as well. So I really want to thank you all for that, for being such great leaders. I'm very appreciative of our partnership with JCPS. We work with them in so many different areas. And when we get down to some of these kind of foundational type of partnerships like trees and beautifying our community and making our campuses arboretums, it's just really good work that the whole community can look at and say this is what a city and community is all about, where everybody works together for the benefit of us all. And then the partnership between Trees Louisville and JCPS represents the kind of creative thinking and collaboration that we want to see and see more and more of all over our city as well. And we, as a city, I hope you all are proud of, have a national reputation as a community of innovators and things like open data and technology and all of that. But we also now have this reputation of innovation as it relates to our trees and community partnership as well. So this Trees Louisville Canopy program that we have, Campus Canopy program, is really important for a lot of different reasons. And when we talk about creating a city of the future, often people want to start immediately talking about harnessing technology and how we can be a leader in that with the work that we're doing with Code Louisville, Google Fiber, and many others. But at the same time, the future vision is not just a vision for technology. It's a future of an environment that is pleasing and enjoyable to everyone. It's a vision of a future where we're responsible for maintaining our environment and certainly making sure we leave it no worse than what we found it. So the vision of having a cleaner and greener hometown is something that is essential for all of us, and especially our young leaders here standing with us here today. So one of the ways that we're doing that to create that future is by doing something ancient that I think is kind of in all of our DNA, and that is rolling our sleeves up and getting our hands dirty by planting trees. We've been doing that for a long time. This has been a milestone week for our city as it relates to growing the tree canopy. We started this effort 5 years ago when my administration came together with leaders like Henry Heiser, Katie Schneider, and multiple other folks recognized that we have a problem with our tree canopy, and it was depleting too rapidly, and we needed to be proactive. That conversation led to the creation of the Louisville Tree Commission, which existed for a few years and helped us identify the city's urgent need to increase our canopy. And then the creation of the Tree Commission also led to the city undertaking the Urban Heat Island Study and the Tree Canopy Assessment Studies, in addition to creating an urban forestry division in city government led by Aaron Thompson here with us today. So one of the things we wanted to do was get very specific on what is the problem. Before you solve a problem, you have to identify what the problem is, and this work allowed us to do that. The Tree Commission work then evolved into the announcement of the creation of the nonprofit Trees Louisville organization, which you're hearing about here today. And then just 2 days ago, on Wednesday, we had the first board meeting of the Trees Louisville organization, which would be a historic meeting that people will look back on 50 years from now when they ask how we restored our tree canopy. And so today we're marking the first major public project with Trees Louisville. Building on that momentum, the city and its many partners last year helped us plant more than 8,000 trees throughout Jefferson County as part of a community-wide effort. And this year, we'll plant more and more trees, and Trees Louisville obviously is going to be integral to all of those efforts. In the next month or two, we'll be releasing our Urban Heat Island Mitigation Plan and our Community Forestry Management Plan. And we know that neighborhoods that have fewer trees, it's obvious, but they're hotter, they have higher electricity costs, lower property values, and effects on our citizens' health. And oftentimes, those neighborhoods are in poor areas of the community, and I say it's just another high cost of being poor that we can address more effectively. I can report that we're headed in the right direction. Our air in our community is cleaner today than it has been in decades, and that's something that everybody can agree is a good thing. So we're making progress, and the Trees Louisville Campus Canopy Program is one of many steps we're taking as a community to further purify our air and beautify our city. It's hard to find somebody that doesn't like trees. Okay, it's something we can all agree on. And we've got to take these steps as a community. And any citizen, now as we call out, any citizen who has a yard or any business that has a yard can make a difference. Because about 70% of our 400 square miles in our city is in private hands. So the bulk of this work needs to be done by our private citizens and businesses. So how can you help? Plant a tree as a celebration of your child's next birthday. Or how about your anniversary? Wouldn't that be romantic, Jonathan? Huh? Honey, got you a female ginkgo this year. But the tree, seriously, when we plant the trees, they're powerful and enduring symbols that we can all look at fondly when we see and say, you remember when we planted that tree 5 years ago for Mary's birthday? And look at it now. Winter actually is the best time to plant those trees, so go ahead and plant it now. It's kind of like a little secret that you can announce on a birthday here in the spring or summer. But our goal is to create an arboretum of trees in every neighborhood, and with our citizens' help, we can do it. And certainly we want to create an arboretum on every campus as well, and we can get that done. So I also want to take a moment to announce the members of the Tree Louisville Board of Directors. Cindy Sullivan, of course, is our executive director. So, Cindy, thank you for stepping up. Henry Heiser Jr. is our chairman. Katie Schneider is the vice chair. Alan Steinbach is the secretary-treasurer. The other members of the board are Jim Allen, Charles Denny, Greg Heitzman, Mike Mountjoy, Austin Musselman, Paul Thompson, and Patty Dale Ty. And we're looking for more members of the board if you're interested. I also want to say thank you to our Louisville Metro employees that are here with us as well. I mentioned Aaron Thompson as our urban forester, which is a really cool title I've always thought was neat. Maria Cutter's here with us today as our director of sustainability, and then Gina O'Brien, who runs Brightside. And Ms. Shude's here with us as just a champion in our Parks Department that is our tree lady. So thank you so much for what you've done. So as you can see, our team has got deep roots in the community. Now, a challenge, okay? So if the media would kind of spread this out, it would help us. We need to raise $30,000 to relocate a climbing tree from a nursery to the ground at Maupin Elementary in the Parkland neighborhood. So probably everybody in here has climbed a tree. Maybe not recently, but certainly when you were a kid. This is an awesome tree that's got about a 30-foot spread, 15 feet high. You can start climbing about a foot off of the ground, and it would just be magnificent to do. So what we're doing, and nobody's made the first donation, I'll be happy to do one personally. Okay, all right, well, I'll make the second personal donation, not the city's money. Okay, so what we want to do is, rather than having students climb on a plastic playground equipment, we want to give them a sturdy tree to climb. And it's a 35-year-old contoured European beech whose lower branches are less than 1 foot off the ground and great for kids to climb onto and just connect with nature. And remember back to your childhood, as I just mentioned, how it felt to climb a tree and look out over the neighborhood and figure out how to climb the tree. If Dr. Hargens came up here, you would tell us it's a trigonometry equation and you got to do this, and physical fitness is a big part of that. So let's give that same experience to our kids at Maupin. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to crowdfund this tree. So I think everybody's familiar with that, where you can go on the internet and say, you know, here's my $10 or my $100, or if you're feeling rich, say $1,000. Doesn't matter what it is. So here's how you do it. You go to www.ioby.org, so www.ioby.org, and then search for Climbing Tree Playground, and it will take you to our site, and then just put on there whatever you want, what you want to put on there. So we're just trying to reach out to the community here as a little community response to Trees Louisville for this beautiful 30-foot climbing tree. So let's do that together. All right? Appreciate your help. With that, we taking questions now, or Mike, what do you want to do? Okay. I'm next. Mike Razor, back to the podium.
Before I talk about the maintenance, I want to express how much this is going to transform our campuses. You know, when you hear people are planting trees on campuses, this isn't 7 or 8 trees. This isn't, you know, the tree we planted to commemorate something. These are hundreds of trees on our campuses. In your packets, you've got some of the plans of some of the other schools that we're going to be planting at. And Doss High School, for example, we are going to transform the look of Doss High School. And so many of our schools, not just in Louisville, but nationwide, have such an institutional look to them. And Assistant Superintendent Glenn Beatty and I were talking, you know, and we could say we remember early in our careers when campuses used to cut down trees because it was too hard to mow. So we'll just cut down all the trees and we'll just mow everything and it'll be easy. And that wasn't being a good environmental steward. And as everyone's alluded to as well, it just sort of sucks the life out of the way a place looks. So I can't tell you how happy I am, especially in a public organization like a school system where we have to be good stewards of the taxpayers' money, and we want to spend money on what happens in the classroom, to have an organization like Trees Louisville working for us to help us beautify our campuses really at no expense to our district. So that's a good tie-in to the maintenance question. Questions we get all the time, even from our maintenance department: how are we going to maintain all these trees? Well, these are truly a community investment. And there's not a good, easy answer for that because each of our locations is going to do it differently. They're going to have the assistance of our maintenance department and the on-site school custodial and maintenance staff. But each of the communities, the teachers, the PTAs, we are ensuring that the proper maintenance takes place. And the mayor also talked about, a question is why are you planting in the winter? Because winter is the best time to plant trees. Not that this isn't a year-round process, but when you're going to plant 100 trees at a time like this, you're really giving them a much better chance of all surviving by planting them at this time in the winter when the trees are dormant and there's less shock to their system to being uprooted and replanted. The other thing that we have created, because where we run into some maintenance issues is summer, when the teachers and the students that are taking care of the trees are gone for the summer and maintenance staff is worried about getting the buildings back up and running, and sometimes you can forget to water the trees. So, two-pronged attack. One, the watering of the trees is not going to be a daily thing. We're going to have the bags that everyone sees around newly planted trees, so those are going to help to keep the trees watered and healthy. The other thing that we have created through our IT department is, and it's going to launch this summer as this kicks off, is this wonderful app that is going to serve as a dashboard where it will allow me or Cindy or anyone with access, and I think we may even make it forward-facing, the condition of each of our campuses that has had trees planted on them. And you're going to see a little tree and if under Medora Elementary, and if that tree's green, it means our watering schedule is being kept. But if someone hasn't went in and said, yes, I watered the trees on their end of the app, it's going to get brown and there's going to be little leaves falling off. Well, as I see that, or Cindy sees that, that allows us to have real-time data that the tree maintenance schedule isn't being kept up, or that they just forgot to put it in, but it gives us that instant follow-up so we can see that these trees are being maintained. Because when you receive a gift like this, and this is one of the best gifts we could ever receive. When you receive a gift like this, there's responsibility that comes along with it. And we take that responsibility very, very seriously. And now if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer those.